Look, if I lost everything tomorrow, no money, no audience, no fancy software, and had to start from scratch, I'd still make $1 million. And it's not because I'm special, but it's because I've done it before from that position with nothing. And I learned how the game works. So in this video, I'm gonna break it down for you so you can just run the same play that made me over 7 figures online in my business with just one digital product doing a little over 900K. Now, this isn't gonna be any fluff or any fancy hats to try to sound like some smart guru, but this is just gonna be a step-by-step blueprint built from what's actually working, not people renting Lamborghinis and selling you the vibes. We were 5 steps from eternity. We were. I ain't gonna get into my R&B bag. Plus, I don't even know if you know about Dru Hill like that. But there are 5 steps to this blueprint. And it's only gonna take me about 5 minutes to break down these 5 steps. So if you don't have 5 minutes to spare, then honestly, you just probably lack the focus to even implement any of this stuff. So by all means, feel free to click off of this and watch some cat video or something. But look, if you want to build a business and if you want to print money without employees, warehouses, or shipping labels, then you need to sell a digital product. Why? Because it's pure profit. You build once and you can sell forever, and you can scale to a 7-figure level with just a laptop and a Wi-Fi signal. But what do you sell? And this is the biggest hurdle to most people because they are selling the wrong things, which is step one. And step one is that you do not sell a digital product. Well, I thought you were going to talk about this blueprint to make $1 million selling digital products. Yeah, the first step is to go into it with the mindset that you are not selling a digital product. The first step is that you need to sell a transformational product, right? Because these are the only products that are selling. First of all, the only products that are selling are informational products, but they can't just be info products. They need to be an informational transformational product because that's what people are buying. They want to get somewhere. They don't just want some information. And so many people are missing this simple step, and it's the first step to anything. And that's why a lot of people, they can't generate any money online because they're missing the first step. They're thinking of what digital product to sell instead of what transformation can I deliver? What result can I sell? So if I was great at fitness, I wouldn't just come out with a fitness program like most people do. I would come out with a fitness program to help people lose belly fat, right? It's a clear transformation. You have belly fat, this is how you lose the belly fat, not how you get in shape, not how you get fit. It's too general. There's no direct problem that it solves. If I was good at marketing, I would make a course on how I got my first 10 clients. If I had no idea what to teach, I would just give a breakdown of something that's already worked for me, even if it's just how I budgeted $2,000 a month and paid off debt. But the key here is that you don't need to think of what digital product to create. You need to think of what transformational product you can create. And you don't need to be famous. You need to be helpful for this to work. Now, step 2, you need to pick a marketable niche. And there are 3 main markets that print money like on autopilot. And it's going to be health, wealth, and relationships. So if your offer can help someone lose weight, make money, or find love, then you are sitting on an ATM machine. And why do people say ATM machine? Because the M in ATM stands for machines, like automatic teller machine. So saying ATM machine is like saying ATM machine. Like, I don't know. I just caught myself doing that. But health, wealth, relationships, those are like the 3 main money makers. And when you really get down to the core essence of a lot of things, most things in general fit under one of these 3 categories. Outside of, I'll say the 4th biggest market is entertainment. But you wanna avoid this like at all costs. Like, you don't want to just be an entertainer. You don't want to just be entertaining people, because then you just end up being a clown in the circus. And the reason why I say this is because most people that are focused on entertainment, they're focused on getting a whole lot of views. And in order to get a whole lot of views, you have to constantly try to go viral, and you have to constantly do what other people are doing or what's trendy just to get all the eyeballs, but they're not ever selling anything. So just think of all the people that you're entertained by. They don't have anything to sell. So their business is actually building other people's businesses, because the only way that they can make any money is by somebody that actually does have a product to sell, paying them so they can get in front of the eyeballs that they entertain. But that's going to be a very, very hard business to sustain, versus over here, you're just focused on delivering a simple result to somebody. And you don't need to have a big audience to do it. You just need to have the right eyeballs. And that's why all the people really winning in content, they have these micro niche personal brands where they are branding themselves as an authority within a certain niche that can fix a particular painful problem. And then they're making literally millions of dollars off of it. And they don't have to have the biggest audience. I know of a guy up in Vancouver, Canada. He has a YouTube channel of only like 20,000 subscribers. He makes multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars per month. I personally know people and coach people that have multiple hundreds of thousands of subscribers and over 1 million subscribers, and they are not making anywhere near a few $100,000 per month. And they are struggling right now, and they are hating their lives because they're over focused on entertaining everybody, and they're just being a clown in the circus. And it's stupid. And when you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. And it's not cool or fun to be a popular broke person. But with your niche, you don't want to go broad, you want to go deep. That's what she said. And what I mean by that is that you want to go hyper specific. You don't want to go broad and be general. So for example, if you were in the health niche and you help people lose weight, well, it's not that you help people lose weight, it's that you help busy moms lose 15 pounds in 60 days. If you were in the wealth niche, it's not that you help people start a business, it's that you help laid off tech workers build 4-figure side hustles, right? If you were in the relationship niche, it's not that you give dating tips, it's that you help introverts write 3 texts that lead to dates. Specific sales. If your offer is too vague, then your sales will be too. Now, step 3 is to build an audience and authority. And this is where a lot of people mess up. They try to sell before they have attention, but attention is the new oil, and this is how you drill for it. So you need to pick a platform. You need to pick one platform, one. You don't want to be on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and Threads and LinkedIn and YouTube. One. I highly suggest that you pick YouTube. Why? Because YouTube trumps all. And just think about all of the creators that you do listen to for any type of information or advice. Where you listen to them at? YouTube. And even the people that do have digital products teaching about how to grow on short form platforms. Where do the people that want to grow on Instagram go to learn about how to grow on Instagram? They come to YouTube. They don't go to Instagram for that. Where do the people that want to learn how to grow TikToks go to learn how to grow TikToks? They don't go to TikTok for that. They go to YouTube. I'm telling you, YouTube trumps all. And YouTube will change your life if you let it. So, first of all, the reason why I say YouTube is because YouTube is the biggest streaming platform, period. So I don't even consider YouTube to be social media like I consider all that other stuff to be. So when I say it's the biggest streaming platform, as of right now, today when I'm recording this video, YouTube is bigger than Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, cable, all this stuff. YouTube is the biggest. So that's first of all. Second of all, YouTube is the biggest search engine on the planet. So Google owns YouTube, and Google is the #1 search engine on the planet. YouTube is the second biggest search engine on the planet. So YouTube is discoverable. The other platforms, they're not discoverable. So they're just throwing stuff in your face without you even asking for it. That's what she said. Whereas on YouTube, you're making a decision. You're choosing to watch what you want to watch. You're not just getting served up random content. And YouTube is the fairest of all the algorithms also because it's giving everybody the same exact opportunity. So I guarantee you, if you were to look on your YouTube home screen, you're going to see some small creator that doesn't have a large audience and is not getting a lot of views, getting the same exact real estate as somebody that is well established on the platform. It's just that typically those smaller creators, they haven't learned how to work the YouTube game yet, to where they don't know how to get that click. So most people, they're going to click on something else because most likely their packaging sucks, their title on their thumbnail sucks, therefore they don't get that click, and then YouTube sees that people aren't clicking it, which means that people aren't watching it, which means that they're not going to continue to push out their smaller creator stuff. But if you just focus in and lock in on YouTube, you start to learn the game of YouTube, you'll start to earn those clicks and you start to build an audience on YouTube. And YouTube is the most powerful audience because it builds a better, deeper connection, and it's a long-term platform also. So if I use myself as an example, the most viewed video that I have on a day-by-day basis is something that I created over a year ago. It doesn't work like that on shorter form content like social media, like an Instagram, like a TikTok, like a Twitter or X or whatever Elon decides to call it in the future. So it's evergreen, it's long form. So the work that you can do today can be working for you for weeks, months, or years to come. Even if you go and look at any of your other favorite creators, most likely their most viewed videos and what is getting them the most views on a week-by-week basis, day-by-day basis also, is gonna be something that they did a while ago, not the stuff today. So YouTube, it has a compounding effect because the assets that you create today, and I do call them an asset because every single video that you post up on YouTube is a digital asset because it actually does bring you in income over time, but it compounds over time also. So the value of your digital assets can be paying you while you are making sales from your digital products off of something that's already paying you also. I'm telling you, it's mind-boggling to me once I realized that I can get paid from YouTube to build my income, impact, and influence. It's crazy. I wish I started taking my YouTube seriously years ago. And the best time to take your YouTube seriously was years ago, and the second best time is now. So you better take advantage of this opportunity. So you pick one platform. Like I said, I suggest YouTube. You can pick other platforms, but you're just gonna have a harder time. Most likely you're gonna be trying to make them all work at the same time and then be wondering why ain't nothing working. So pick one platform. If you're gonna pick something like YouTube, I say that you focus on being consistent. And when I say consistent, I mean that you need to work on a posting schedule that you can stay consistent with, not what somebody else can stay consistent with. But I would highly recommend a bare minimum of at least one video per week. And I'll say, if you're really wanting to stretch yourself, I'll say 3 videos per week. So when I was starting off, I was doing 3 videos per week, but I say a bare minimum of 1 video per week. So the reason why you want to do this here is because, yes, you want to stay consistent for yourself, but you also want to stay consistent for your audience. So even though I said a platform like YouTube is a long form platform, it has evergreen content, but when you start to amass an audience, your audience, they have no loyalty to you. So in this whole content creation game, an analogy that I like to use is that your audience, they just like dope fiends. They just like crackheads. They just like the Jays from around the way. So what I mean by this is, if you have a dope fiend, right? They don't care where they get their dope from. They just care that they get their fits. They just care that they get their hit. So it's the same exact thing with content. So if you start to garner an audience, or you get in front of a new person and they actually like your content, they actually enjoy the value that they got from you, and then you just stop and then they don't see you no more, well, then they're just gonna go on to the next person that is giving them that value that they need. There's no loyalty to it, right? So you want to be consistent for yourself for one, but you want to be consistent for the audience that you start to garner, because they're going to start to expect for you to show up for them. And that's just like in anything, right? So say me, I don't watch much TV, but I'm a big sports watcher. If I turned it on ESPN and then all of a sudden ESPN stopped showing sports, well, I don't really have any allegiance to ESPN. I'm just going to go somewhere else and find the sports that I need. I'm going to go to Fox Sports 1. I'm going to go to whatever that channel is for me to get my sports fix, right? I love superhero movies. If Marvel stopped making those superhero movies, I don't have no real life allegiance to Marvel. I'm going to start watching whoever's making the superhero movies. I'm going to go watch some DC movies, right? So you want to be consistent, like I said, for one, so you can constantly be working on yourself and your craft and your skills. But when you start to garner an audience, they will expect for you to show up, just like with anything else in life, and you want to show up for them. So like I said, with YouTube, I say a bare minimum of 1 video per week. If you really want to push yourself, least 3 videos per week, but keep a schedule to where you can stay consistent. So this is a target right here, but if you can only do 1 every 2 weeks, be consistent with that at least. And within your content, you don't want to just give information. That's where a lot of people are messing up also. They're just giving information. They're just giving tutorials or whatnot. When you do things like that, you'll just be a channel where people, they just come for information and then they leave. You won't ever build any bond with them. You won't build any connection. You won't build what I call the know, like, and trust factor, because people buy things from people that they know, like, and trust. So within your content, sometimes you want to let some people know what your story is so they can get to know you, so they can get to like you, so they can get to trust you. And you want to showcase some of your wins, right? Some of your results, some of the things that have worked for you, some of the wins that you have gotten for other people. You want to share some of your losses, which is what a lot of people don't want to talk about, which goes into some of your story that'll build that know, like, and trust factor, because you become relatable, because it's like, oh, they don't just win every time. Like, they be messing up like I be messing up. You want to share some of those breakdowns, whether that be a tutorial, a step-by-step guide, or a blueprint like I'm doing in this video. Maybe you want to show some of the behind the scenes, right? Show some of the realness, some of the reality of what they are going to be getting themselves into. But the core essence of all this right here is that you want to be creating value content. You want to give genuine value out to the marketplace. Don't try to be perfect, be helpful, be honest, be you. Because trust builds faster when you stop pretending that you're further along than you really are. You're not Gary Vee, you're not Alex Hormozi, you're not whoever the other super rich gurus are that you listen to that say stuff about grinding your face off and posting 15,000 times per week. No, just need to post a solid 1 to 3 times per week. Low end 1, high side 3. And just also know with this, it's always going to be quantity over quality, especially starting off. So a lot of people, they're so focused on having good quality, but before you do enough quantity, then you won't realize what quality is. So if you want to learn more, do more so you can figure out what quality for you is actually going to be. And this will always be in different seasons. So if you're doing more quantity of something, that doesn't mean that you have to do that for forever. But you can get into a small window of time where you're doing a huge amount of quantity so you can figure out what this quality is going to be for you. But stop listening to these people. And I hate all this hustle, grind culture. And I used to say that stupid stuff too, like all gas, no brakes, and I'll sleep when I die. Sleep is a cousin of them. You are a human. You need to rest. We rest every single thing else in our lives. We need to do that with our bodies as well. You recharge your phone, you need to recharge your brain and your body and your mind also. When you're doing a lot of that stuff, it's just going to lead to burnout and an eventual crash. I crashed before in my past. Guess why? Because I used to say dumb shit like all gas, no brakes. Well, guess what happens when a car is all gas and no brakes? It is going to crash and it's going to end up being really bad. Plus, a lot of those people that say all that hustle stuff, grind stuff, post 150 times per week and all that stuff, they have huge teams behind them to help them fulfill all that stuff. And then solopreneurs go out and they try to implement that stuff and wonder why it goes bad 100% of the time, because you're not them. So stop trying to be like them. I really hate that shit, man. Like somebody, they'll go make $100 million and then start making content and tell you to do the stuff that they're doing with $100 million budget. Like you can't do that. It's impossible. And then I also hate, they'll start telling you to do a whole bunch of stuff that they never did to get their money. They'll start talking about digital products. They'll start talking about building communities and stuff, and they've never built the community. That's not how they made their money. And then the people that listen to that stuff wonder why the stuff's not working for them, because you're listening to somebody that's never done it before. You're listening to somebody that created their business in a whole different route that's telling you to do something that they literally have no experience at doing. But most people perceive that the information that they're getting from them is good because they see the success that they've had. But they've had that success in a different business than you're building. Like I don't want to go off on a little rant right now. Excuse me if I did, but it's so frustrating to me. But let me get back to step 4. And the thing that really makes this audience building stuff a lot easier is when you focus on creating value content for your one intended avatar. And that's it, right? So if you can focus on your avatar instead of thinking of an audience, right? Because your audience, they should all share something in common. And most people, they're just going for a straight big audience and they don't get seen. But you need to build out an avatar profile, which is going to be a certain specific person within that actual niche. And that's how you actually do build an audience. So in any piece of content that I make, I am literally talking to one person. And I've just made my avatar my former self because I've always just found it to be really, really, really easy for me to just talk to my previous self from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. So if my content resonates with you, we have a lot in common because you are me and I am you. The difference is that I've just basically traveled to the future and you're doing all this stuff in the now. And my future self has already done it, returning back to tell you, which is me, like all the mess ups and the how-tos and the, hey, don't turn that corner, like go this way, don't go left, go right, right? Because I've already done the mess ups and I'm really my core mission on everything I'm doing right now is that I'm running back in time to save myself because I've been through so much hurt, pain, lows, like low lows, like through the depths of hell lows on my entrepreneurial journey. And I don't want other people that want to do similar things as me to go through the same things that I've been through because I'm telling you, it hurts. So I'm running back to save you. Jay-Z, he has a lyric. He says, Hov did that. So hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that, right? So I went through it so you don't have to go through it. But the next step is going to be a conversion play, right? And the next step is to use proof to sell, not pressure. Use proof, not pressure to sell. And this is how you're going to get your conversions. This is how you're going to get those sales to actually come in. You don't need to beg people to buy. You just need to show them proof and let people just make the decision because they want to. So just show proof that your offer works. And if people are having a problem with what it is that you have clearly shown them that you have a proven solution for, then they will buy it because they want that and they want to alleviate that pain that they're going through. So proof can be a screenshot of your own results, right? Proof can be testimonials from other people that you've helped. Right? And I'll take this a level deeper with these testimonials. If you don't have any testimonials yet of other people that you've helped, your proof can be your testimony. Right? This is where I said that you need to start telling your story more. You need to start sharing some things that you've been through so you can be your own testimony if you don't have any testimonies. Proof can be case studies. Right? And a case study, even if it's just your cousin that you help for free, that's somebody that you have helped, that can be used as a case study. And again, if you don't have anybody else that you've helped, you gotta start to tell your story. You have to tell your own testimony. And I get it. I know it. I've been there. It can feel very uncomfortable to talk about yourself. Believe it or not, I don't really like to talk about myself, but I know that I have to talk about certain things that I've done so I can get people to look at me because I know that I have done a lot of things that other people want to do. So I got to wave my flag and be like, hey, look at me. Look at me. Oh, you want to do cool stuff? I've done cool stuff. Hey, look at the cool stuff that I've done. I have to do it to garner some attention, to get eyeballs on my product that I know is actually going to help somebody. And then as soon as I get a result for somebody else, I start waving that result for somebody and say, hey, look, remember that cool stuff I was telling you about that I got? It worked for me, but look who it worked for too. Now we two cool people doing cool stuff, right? You gotta share that. You gotta be loud. You gotta be a little boastful, really. And I'm not saying that you have to be out here like braggadocious and whatnot, but there are ways that you can subtly talk about what it is that you've done, your story, positive things that you have done, a change that you've had in your life, how you've gotten a result, how you've gotten a transformation, how you have gotten from here to there. Because at the end of the day, that's what all of this stuff is. People, they simply just want to go from their current situation to their desired situation. You can show somebody that you have been where they were and you are now where they want to be, but you got to show that. And if you don't have anybody else outside of yourself that you've helped, go and help some people for free. Go help 2, 3, 4, 5 people and get them a result, and document everything. Document the entire process, screenshot everything, ask for testimonials from them after you've helped them. I'm telling you, that's your first $10,000 right there. The free stuff that I've done in my past, in order to just get a testimonial from somebody, you wouldn't believe. And here's the thing about doing stuff for free. People, they miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime because a paycheck isn't attached to it. So in their brain, they've gotten conditioned for every single little thing that they should do, they should get paid for it. They don't see the long game with any of this stuff. And I'm like, yo, it's the free stuff that you do that will lead to people actually paying you. Even with stuff like creating content. People, they don't want to create content because they're thinking of how they can get paid right now versus thinking of how they can have a catalog of stuff available, especially on something like YouTube. So when somebody does discover you, they can then go and binge all your content, and then they're going to buy because it's going to build that know, like, and trust factor. And I call this binge and buy. So somebody, they get aware of you, they start to watch your content, right? They're aware of you, they know you. Then they start to like you. They may subscribe, they may like, they may leave a comment, and then they start to binge your content. And when they're binging your content, that becomes that trust factor, and then they buy. Well, guess what? You have to do a bunch of free stuff in order to get to there. And so many people, they're missing out on that opportunity. Just like how they're missing out on the opportunity here. I say, you got some testimonials that say no. I say, well, go help some people for free. They say, why would I do something for free? I ain't gonna make no money off of that. Well, so you can get a result from somebody, so you can use the testimonials to make the money. But instead of pushing your product, just document the proof, and then the buyers will come. And then step 5 is that you need to automate sales. And the great thing about automation is that this is when the sleep money comes in, or what a lot of people like to say, passive income. This is where that passive income comes in. This is when you can literally make money in your sleep. So step 5, you got to automate sales on autopilot. So for this, you need to create a system. And system stands for saving yourself time, energy, and money. The system. So this system that you're going to create for yourself, remember, everything starts off with your avatar. That one person that you're going to come up with a solution to their problem for, and that one person that you are going to make your content for over and over and over and over again. Everything starts with them, right? So then you create this content for that avatar. Like I said, I highly suggest YouTube. Why? Because it's discoverable. And once you start to make this content for that avatar, the algorithm will start to categorize your content. And you'll start to become a perceived authority within a space. And then the algorithm will use its organic traffic sources, which would be the homepage, which will be the search bar, which will be the suggested tab, which will be people sharing your content. I don't even have the biggest YouTube channel yet, but every single month, thousands of people share my content, right? So the algorithm will use all of its organic traffic sources to put you in front of more people that fits your avatar's profile. So now, if we create that offer or that digital product, then we will get that sale. And then, remember, we're not just selling digital products or informational products, we're selling those transformational products, right? So your avatar should get their transformation from your product, and then they will become an evangelist for you. Evangelist basically just means an ambassador, right? Think about what is an evangelist. Somebody that got a transformation and they went and they spread the word. So these people, they become evangelists. This is when you start to get those testimonials, right? This is when you start to get, even on the content side of organic traffic, this is when you start to get those shares. Like I said, my content gets shared thousands of times per month, right? Which leads to more people buying your digital product. This is a system right here that works on itself 24/7, 365, so you can make more and work less and get your time back, like all them that you see on the screen right now. And if you're ready to make more working less online from stuff that you already know, go ahead and click the link down in the description and join this Credit at the Top community. For weekly coaching from myself, all my exclusive trainings, plus a private community and entrepreneurs, all designed to grow your business online. It's only a few bucks a day to join right now, literally less than a cup of coffee per day. So click the link down in the description to tap in. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. But this system right here, or these two flywheels with this content flywheel attached to this product flywheel right here, this can be working nonstop for you because you can't work nonstop. So we need to create these systems and these automations so they can work for us 24/7, 365. And that's how you can get some semi-passive income and actually get some money coming in online while you sleep by implementing a system, saving yourself time, energy, and money. So if I had to start over with no audience, no team, no money, this is exactly what I do. And this is exactly what I did do, and it works. And this is exactly what other people do, and it works. And guess what? You can too. And you're not too late, you're not too old, you're not too behind. You're just waiting on permission that you don't need anymore. So here it is. Go build it, go sell it, go scale it. So go ahead and click the link down in the description and tap into the community. And I'll see you on our coaching call this Wednesday. Go ahead and check out this video right here about how you can make a whole lot of money before you even create a product with a pre-launch. It's Credit at the Top.